Let's take a look at what's going on with Dogecoin today. All right, so in yesterday's video, we were watching this trend line going to the upside right here. We had support, 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 support. I'm on the 4-hour time frame of Dogecoin on TradingView, and I was thinking if we break this trend line going to the downside, or we also had this resistance right here. So we had resistance, resistance, giving us this support line, and then giving us this resistance line. And in yesterday's video, we were talking about how we need to choose whether we're going to go up or we're going to go down. And it did break to the downside. I was thinking if we broke this trend line going to the downside, then maybe we'd be coming back down to this bottom down here, sitting at around 0.342 approximately. We have this bottom right here and this bottom right here where the price came down, got support, and then bounced to the upside, came down again, bounced, or came down to this level again, bounced, and then we got that little move to the upside. So I was thinking if we break this trend line, then maybe we would be coming back down here. So that's what I was thinking. But we came down. We found support right here sitting at around 0.370 and then bounced to the upside, and we broke. It looks like we're breaking this resistance line, that the other line that I was watching. Resistance that I was just showing you. We had resistance. It looks like we found support and tested it and broke through it. So this was a bad sign right here, breaking to the downside, but this is a good sign, breaking to the upside. In general, I'm still watching this top line right here and this bottom line right here, like in yesterday's video. Until we break to the upside of this or to the downside of this, I feel like we're just going sideways. We could be in this little channel pattern for a little bit until we actually do break to the upside. If we zoom out though, let's go ahead and zoom out, because this is kind of even looking more and more like a flag pattern. Basically, I've been talking about this for a few days on this channel. We have a big run up and then we're getting consolidation right here. If we could break to the upside, we can drag from the bottom to the top of the flagpole, and then let's see, we drag from the bottom to the top of the, or whatever, top to the bottom, whatever, drag that to the breakout. If we could break to the upside, because this pattern is usually a continuation pattern, meaning that if it's going up and we get consolidation, usually it breaks to the upside and we can target from the top to the bottom of the flagpole, which gives us a target of approximately, what is it, 0.647 approximately. I've been coming, I was looking at 606 because it was more of like a pennant pattern, but now that we kind of came up and it's more of a horizontal line, this would be the breakout right here in my opinion. So yeah, if we could break to the upside and really fulfill that continuation pattern, then I'd be looking at approximately 0.647. So yeah, let's see if we can do that though. If we break to the downside, let's say, so we have this bottom right here. If we break that going to the downside, then I'll be setting up a Fibonacci retracement chart from the bottom of the run to the top of the run, like we did in this area. So basically, we would get the Fibonacci retracement chart, or the Fibonacci retracement tool. I don't know. You could argue a few different places where this started, but let's go from down here. Let's do it from right here. So we get the Fibonacci retracement tool. We click on the bottom, and then we drag to the top, and then we click, and then that gives us some levels to watch if we start breaking to the downside. So like, let's say we break this support going down, then what I would be looking at are the next Fibonacci retracement levels going to the downside. Yeah. So the 38% would be at 0.309, the 50% at 0.269. And those are kind of my favorite ones to look at, but we haven't done that yet. And like I was just saying, it does look like the bull flag is, it does kind of look more and more like a bull flag. We have a big run up, consolidation. As long as we could break to the upside, continuation pattern, and we can start moving higher, and that would be breaking out of this little box right here. So let's see what happens if we can continue this momentum that we're kind of having right now. Let's go back to the 1-hour time frame. Like I said, let's go ahead and delete this trend line because we already broke it. And then now we're kind of just looking at, it almost looks like a falling, it almost looks like a falling wedge. Let's go back to the 4 hour, where we are bouncing in between these two trend lines, getting tighter and tighter and tighter. We broke out right here. The targets on the falling wedge would be the previous resistances. So yeah, maybe we can continue this momentum, hit that first one, continue to go up, hit the second one, and then start testing that top right here. The top is sitting at around .419. If we could break .4, what is it? .419 or .42 approximately. I mean, these ones went up a little higher. These ones went up all the way up to .434, and this one is around .438. But I think in general, like the bodies of the 4 hour, that top of the body of the 4 hour, this is what I'm kind of thinking anyways. And then we also have this little one right here where it came up, got resistance, and that's where the line kind of comes in. But at this area at around .419 approximately, if we could break through that, if we can continue this momentum, then break through that, then we could get more confident on those higher targets of around 606, or I think this one was what, 648. Yeah, that's basically what I'm looking at on Dogecoin today. But let me see. I think that's the main thing. Let's look at Bitcoin, Dogecoin to Bitcoin. In yesterday's video, we were talking about this as well, where we came down and found support right here on this previous resistance line, because if we zoom out, this was one of the targets I was watching. Okay, so we had down here, we had this resistance, we broke through that. Ever since then, I've been more confident on Dogecoin. We broke through that resistance, came up to the next resistance, broke through that, got big green candles, came up to the next one, broke through that, big green candles, and we had this resistance, giving me that trend line. And then we came up to the next one, broke through that, came up to this next one, and had trouble at this one. And this is where we're having trouble in general. Let me zoom in so you can kind of see. But that's where those lines came from. We came up, hit that spot right there, and then we came down. But check it out. I was talking about this in yesterday's video. Let me delete all this real quick. I was talking about this in yesterday's video, though, that this previous resistance, even though we had resistance on it back here, boom, now that we broke through it, now that we've broken through it, going to the upside, and we're on top of it, maybe it'll act as support now. And that's what it's kind of done so far. Let's go back to the 1 hour. Okay, so we came up to this one right here, found resistance, and then started pushing down. Right here, it found support in it, got a bounce to the upside, and then we found resistance again and started going down. Right here, it looks like we're getting support again. Let's see if this can hold support and we can start bouncing to the upside. What I've been saying, though, is if we could break this line right here, there is a lot of room to the next one. So let's say we do break this one going up, then there is a lot of room for the next one. So it could be a big move if we could break this resistance right here. So that's kind of one of the big things I'm looking at. So basically on Dogecoin to Bitcoin, if this chart's going down, then it's good for Bitcoin. If this chart's going up, then it's good for Dogecoin. Going down, good for Bitcoin. If it starts going up, that's going to be good for Dogecoin. Maybe Dogecoin will start performing. But let's see if we can hold support right here, get a bounce, and then break through that resistance, and then it can really start flying. But that's what I'm looking at on Dogecoin to Bitcoin chart on TradingView.com. All right, so let's go to Bitcoin real quick. I was checking this out last night, and this is another thing that's kind of making me a little confident in the market in general, is that Bitcoin's at an all-time high right now. We're at 766 approximately at the time of recording this video, which is basically all-time highs. And we broke through. Okay, so we had this little run up, and then we had consolidation. It kind of looked like a rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern, but we did break that going to the upside. Like I was saying in yesterday's video, like even if we form rising wedges, sometimes in a bull market, it'll break to the upside. What we could do in that situation is drag from the bottom and the top of the channel, or the the wedge, and then drag that to the breakout, and that would give us a target of approximately $102,000. It also kind of looks like a flag pattern, but I don't like the way I don't know, usually in a flag pattern, if it's either going parallel, like straight, then that's okay. Or if it's going down, then that's okay. But if it's doing a rising wedge, then I'm kind of a little more skeptical. Like I said, this could be like the rising wedges is kind of those instances where it goes parabolic because it's trending up and then it breaks to the upside and then it just kind of goes up. So it does like just a parabolic move. So the fact that we did break this resistance and started moving to the upside seems kind of good in my opinion. And we're at all-time highs right now. Let's see how far we can go. The other thing that we've been looking at on this channel, let's go ahead and, do I have anything else on here? Let me just delete everything from this chart real quick. Let's just delete everything. Okay, so that's just the plain chart. And if you want to delete everything, there's a little trash can right here. Remove all drawings pretty much, and then you can have a nice clean chart. Like I said, go to tradingview.com, sign up for an account, create a watch list, and then you can save your technical analysis. So let's just do this from scratch. We have resistance right here, giving me a trend line, something like this. And then we also had a channel pattern, something like this, where we had resistance, and then we had support, something like this. Basically, we're looking at a cup and handle pattern. Look it up on Google. We have a cup, and then we have a channel pattern going to the downside after that. Once we break that channel pattern going to the upside, we can drag from the top to the bottom of the cup, and then drag that to the breakout. The breakout is the breakout of the channel pattern, something like that. So that's the breakout would happen right here once we break that resistance. And that would give us a target of approximately, let's see what the target is today, 112,000. I was looking at 120 some thousand. Maybe it's because I was dragging from the top, the bottom to the top right here. Let's see. Let's look at something like this. Yeah, see, that takes us closer to 120. I've been getting different targets on this. I was looking at approximately 124,000, 122,000, but it kind of depends on where you drag from the top to the bottom of the cup. But this pattern is performing right now. I mean, you can see it ever since we broke out of this resistance right here. It's been kind of flying. There was a couple things that I wanted us to do before we get really confident on these targets up here, which is break this resistance, break this previous top right here, and then break this trend line right here. We've done all three of them, so that's why I've been kind of pretty confident on these 120,000 targets, or $120,000 target. So let's see if we can continue this momentum going to the upside. The point is if Bitcoin is moving up, it's going to be good for crypto in general. So as long as this continues to move up, we could be a little more confident on the altcoins that we're looking at, including Dogecoin. So yeah, these big green candles like this is good for crypto in general. So let's see if we could come up, hit 120,000 approximately, and just continue to move up. So yeah, looking good for Bitcoin. Green candles. Let's see how many green candles. Let's see. We're on this is the weekly time frame. Let's go to the daily time frame. I mean, how many green candles is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? We had a whole week of green candles right here. Basically, it's still trending up. I mean, we're getting higher lows and higher highs. So it's just continuing to move up. Let's see if we can come up and hit our targets of around 120,000 approximately. Like I said, it really depends on where you drag from the bottom of the cup. There's different spots to the top right here. I mean, to this trend line right there. So it really depends on that. But go ahead and check it out on TradingView for yourself and see what you come up with. But that's kind of the target that's kind of the pattern that I've mainly been looking at on Bitcoin. I mean, we were looking at this sideways movement for a long time. Once we broke that resistance, because it set up clear resistance right here where there was a trend line. Once we broke that, then it was kind of off to the races, and I was saying, okay, now we just have a couple more things to do. We just have to break the previous high and then that trend line, and then we could be off to the races. And check it out what happened right after we did that. Big green candles. This is where we got that big huge move. So that's why, I mean, I don't know, that's what I was looking at on Bitcoin. Let's see what else we got. Let's total crypto market cap. let's see. Same thing with this chart. I mean, we're looking at a big cup and handle. We have a cup and then a channel pattern going to the downside. We broke that right there. Once we did that, we can drag from the top to the bottom of this cup. This is the total crypto market cap, all the money in crypto right now. So basically we do the same thing, drag from the bottom to the top of the cup, drag that to that breakout of the channel pattern, and that gives us a target of around 4,000, not 4,000, $4.13 trillion. So like I said, this is all the money in crypto. If this chart is moving up, then it's a good thing for crypto in general. More money's flowing into crypto. So yeah, let's see how far we can go. Let's see. Are we at all-time highs right now on crypto as well? Let me delete everything on this. Trash can, remove everything. Okay, yeah, we're 3.17 trillion. We've never been here before. Wow. That's interesting. So we just broke the top, which is another reason why I'm like, okay, this might be like the start of the run. You know what I mean? We'll have to wait and see though. But I feel like breaking tops is a bullish signal. I mean, we just saw it with Dogecoin, where let's go back to Dogecoin, where we were not breaking the top. We haven't broken the all-time highs like we just did in the total crypto market cap. But let's see, let's go back down because we've been like on this channel, we've been watching this falling wedge for a long time. This was basically all year. We were in this area basically all year, and we've been watching this falling wedge pattern. Once we broke that falling wedge, came up, hit the first target, came up, hit the second target, came up, hit the third target. I was wondering if we were going to be able to break out of that previous top right there. Once we did break that top, as you can see right here, okay, so we have, let me delete all that. So we have this top right here. Once we broke that, then check out like the green candles that we got on that bad boy. Huge green candles. So that's why I'm saying like breaking previous tops, not that that was like an all-time high like I was saying, but once we did break that top, that's when we started flying. Let's see. And same thing with Bitcoin and the total crypto market cap. We're all-time highs right now. We're breaking previous tops. We just broke this previous top on the total crypto market cap. Maybe we can get a leg up, and maybe this kind of could be just the start of it. But let's see what happens. I think that's a good sign though, breaking that top. So very bullish sign in my opinion. Bitcoin's all-time highs, good sign. These are both good signs for altcoins that we're looking at. So let's go ahead and let's see, what else do we have? We could look at Ethereum real quick. Ethereum looks like it got a little bounce. It looks like it's up 7% today. So let's see. We were looking at a couple different things on Ethereum. We have another cup and handle, and then we also had a little channel pattern. I was targeting both of them. So we have the cup, and then we have the handle, that channel pattern. The channel pattern alone, so we had resistance, support, giving me these two trend lines. These two trend lines, that top and this bottom, we're bouncing in between them. We broke through that. The target that I was looking at from this pattern alone, the conservative target, drag from the top to the bottom of the channel, drag that to the breakout, and I'm looking at a target of around 3,886. Right now we're sitting at around 3,283. Let's see if we could come up and hit that first target still. It looks like we're kind of getting a little bounce to the upside right now. I was also watching, let's see, we have resistance. It looks like we're breaking that resistance right now. Let's go ahead and set up that trend line. It looks like we're breaking this resistance, which is a good sign. Maybe we can start heading back up to that target that I was just talking about. The other target I was looking at is the cup and handle pattern, like I was talking about on Bitcoin and the total crypto market cap. We have that cup, and then we have the channel pattern going to the downside. Once we break that channel pattern going to the upside, we can drag from the top to the bottom of the cup. Drag that from the top to the bottom. Drag this to the breakout. The breakout is the channel pattern. And I've been getting a few different targets. Like I was saying, depends on where you drag it from. But I was looking at a target of approximately 5,091. Approximately. I mean, I'd be kind of looking at this previous top as well. The previous top is sitting at around 4,861, and I think I got that target as well. Like I said, it really depends on where you drag from the bottom to the top. I mean, this spot's a little higher, so that's going to give you a smaller target if you did something like this. So if we drag this to the breakout, that kind of takes us more around that top. So it really depends on where you drag from the top to the bottom of that cup. Cup and handles aren't my favorite pattern, but it's something to look at, and they are a thing. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. Let's see, same thing. If we can break through the all-time high, or if we, yeah, that is the all-time high. If we could break through that, then it could be just a start, like I was showing you on Bitcoin. If we could break through that, then maybe we can see even higher numbers. But this target does line up with this previous top, so we'd have to be kind of careful in this area. We'd want to see it really break through and see the volume come in and really look strong. So yeah, I think breaking this resistance is a good sign, though. Let's see if we come up and hit that second target of around 3,886. So that is Ethereum. Let's see what else is really moving today. 2%. Ethereum looks like it's up 7%. It looks like it's doing kind of, out of everything on my crypto list, it looks like that one's kind of doing the best. It looks like ICP's up 5%. Dogecoin's up 1.9%, but it's down compared to Bitcoin 1.2%. Bitcoin's up 3%. What else do we got? I think Cardano was moving too. Oh, even Litecoin is up 8%. Let's see what's up with Litecoin. Yeah, it's okay. Let's see what else. Cardano. Oh, Cardano was moving. Cardano looked interesting. I think it is breaking like this previous top right here. I was kind of curious. Same thing. If we could break through there, then maybe we can start pushing to the upside. But it looks like it's having a little bit of trouble. Let me zoom in because it's kind of a mess right here. It is kind of forming a rising wedge like I was talking about. Usually these rising wedge patterns are bearish patterns, which means that it breaks to the downside. But in a bull market, it's not always the case. Sometimes it will break to the upside. So just because you see a rising wedge, don't always count on it to break to the downside. You have to wait for that breakout. And then once you do, then that's when you can start targeting the previous supports, something like that. There's support right here and support right here. These levels are sitting at approximately 0.724 cents, and this one down here is sitting around 0.53 cents. If this breaks going to the downside, then we can start looking at those. But if it breaks to the upside and starts breaking out of this previous high right here, then that could be the start of a next move, just like I was talking about on Dogecoin. To start with, though, you could drag from the top to the bottom of this little rising wedge, drag that to the breakout. Let's say it broke out somewhere right here. Let's say it broke that resistance line, this resistance, because we have resistance, giving me that line. That's where I came up with that, or that's where that came from. If we break that line going to the upside, then we can drag from the top to the bottom right here. Then we get that this line right here, like that, drag that to the breakout. If it can break out to the upside, if it does, then that puts us at around $1.03 approximately. So yeah, basically that's what I'm looking at on Cardano, and I do think if we could break that red Fibonacci retracement, like we already kind of did, but if we could break through it even more decisively, then it could be the start of a next run on Cardano. Cardano had been performing pretty good the last couple of days. That's why I was kind of keeping my eye on it. It's done. This whole big move right here has been pretty crazy. Let's see, from down here to where it is right now, around 116%. So if you guys are holding Cardano, then you guys are probably pretty happy. I know one of my coworkers is holding Cardano and he's waiting for it to go kind of a little higher to sell it, but just that's why I was kind of wanting to look at it. All right, let's go back to Dogecoin. But yeah, like I said, not a lot has changed since yesterday. I mean, I think the main things that we're still watching is this top right here and this bottom right here. If we could break to one way or the other, then it'll give us more confidence on if you're a bear and you already sold it and it breaks to the downside, then good. Then this will be good for you. If you're still holding and it breaks to the upside, then that will be good for you. Yeah, and like I said, so we had this trend right here. This is okay. So we had this trend, something like this, right? We had support. We were basically on this trend line. We broke that going sideways. And this is what I usually do. So we have a trend, we break it going sideways. What I do is look at the top and then look at the bottom and that's where these lines come from as well, because this could be a potential flag pattern. So we don't want to get too scared right here. Because if we get too scared right here and it starts moving up, then we missed out on a potential another run. But it is one signal that could say, hey, the trend's over, it's time for a correction. And then if we break that bottom right there, then that's when we can get really not really bearish, but we can get bearish in the short term or whatever, and sell it and start looking at Fibonacci retracement levels and stuff like that. But we haven't done that. We came down, found support, bounced, got resistance, came down, got support, came up, got resistance. So basically we're still bouncing in between these two trend lines right here, this little channel pattern. Let's see how long it does that. I would like to see us so we had this little resistance right here. I would like to see it break through decisively, come up, test the previous resistance, and then really break through, ideally in a bullish scenario. In a bearish scenario, we would continue to move down, test the support, and then break through it. But we'll have to wait and see what happens either way. Break the top or break the bottom, we don't know yet. But that's why we watch the lines, to kind of give us a better idea. I've been holding for a long time now as well. I know some of you guys in the comments are saying that you've been holding for 4 years and stuff like that. Same here. I think I got into, when did I get into Dogecoin? It was probably like 2019 or somewhere around there. Something like that. I can't remember when the last run happened, but it has been a while. Let's see, when was it? Let's go back in time. Let's go to the weekly time frame. And when did this little run happen? Because I think I got in over here. No, that's 1 cent. I was around 5 cents. Probably somewhere around here, or even like right here. Yeah, 21, I guess. February, April 21, somewhere around there. That's when I first started accumulating Dogecoin as well. I was here for the last run as well. We had a big, huge run, and ever since then, I've just been kind of interested in Dogecoin. And that's basically why not why I made the channel, but why I started focusing on Dogecoin on this channel. But yeah, we're basically watching that top and the bottom. Let's see what happens today, and let's hope that it can continue to move to the upside for all the Dogecoin holders. All right, if you guys like this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you like these videos in general, hit the subscribe button. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing and watching the channel in general. Appreciate it. And if you want to watch the last video, we basically talked about a lot of the same stuff, but we didn't have this little rising wedge. But check it out right here if you want to watch the last video. If you want to, if you're new to trading, check out this playlist right here. It'll help get you started on tradingview.com. All right, if you guys like this video, hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.